Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. The judge heard witness testimony today in day 3 of a murder trial at Court of King's Bench in Melfort. Cody Chubey is on trial for killing his former partner Danielle Dobershek in March of 2024 in a Melfort hotel room. The two had been raising 3 kids together. Dobershek's stepmother testified that in the week leading up to her death, Dobershek had stayed with her stepmother in Prince Albert for several days because she said she and Chubey were having relationship problems and she was considering a temporary separation. The stepmother testified that Dobershek had been concerned about Chubey's mental health. On the night before Dobershek's death, she and Chubey were out on a date night working through their issues. An RCMP member involved with the investigation said the bathroom door in the room where Dobershek was found showed signs of forced entry. The trial is adjourned until July 10th for a conference call to discuss the balance of the trial. A Saskatoon podcast host has cut ties with her co-host after he was criminally charged. 45-year-old Mark Drapak is accused of taking inappropriate photos of women without their consent during a University of Saskatchewan convocation ceremony last week. The university confirms Drapak is an employee. According to his LinkedIn profile, he's an IT specialist. He's been suspended pending the investigation. In a statement, podcast host Caitlin Erickson said she's stunned by the allegations and has ended her collaboration with Drapak immediately. Erickson and Drapak's podcast discussed abuse allegations at a private Christian school formerly called Christian Center Academy. Drapak is scheduled to appear back in court July 6th. A man from Spruce Home, north of Prince Albert, is facing child exploitation charges. Investigators with the province's Internet Child Exploitation Unit searched a home in the hamlet on Monday, seizing electronic devices. As a result, 33-year-old Christopher John Gorham has been charged with 2 counts of possessing child sexual abuse and exploitation material, 1 count of making it available, and 1 count of accessing it. He appeared in court yesterday and was released on conditions. He's scheduled to be back in court later this month. A 28-year-old Saskatoon man is facing a slew of charges following an incident that left a home and a police vehicle damaged. RCMP say they were called to a residence in Beauval on Monday morning at about 1:30 where a man was causing a disturbance. Police say he damaged a door and left the property. A short time later, RCMP were told the same man damaged a police vehicle that was parked outside a home in the community. When officers arrested him, the suspect threatened and assaulted them. Andrew Aubuchon is facing 7 charges related to the incident. Severe storms in Saskatchewan led to a tornado confirmed touching down in the southeast last night.
Oh my God!
This is video from near Oxbow. It's believed the tornado started near North Portal by the American border. Its path traveling near Oxbow and Alameda. The damage has been reported in those communities, including a farm near Alameda. In Regina, there was large hail and localized flooding. Weyburn and Indian Head both reported about 30 millimeters of rain. Estevan and Yorkton saw winds around 85 kilometers per hour. And this is video of another unconfirmed tornado taken by Amy Germain across the field from her house outside of Markinch, which is near Southie, just north of Regina. Severe storms rolled through there just past 6 o'clock. We'll have more on the storms tonight at 6. Well, now that I've seen sort of the damage around the province, Jeff, I consider us a little more lucky that all we got was rain.
Certainly, you know, Saskatoon, Prince Albert, the Battlefords, really rain was the big deal of the day in so many respects. And yes, that sometimes there were strong winds, but nothing that could match what was going on in south central and southeastern Saskatchewan. Now, that same low is still impacting the province, but it's rain right now, most of a rain event, and you can certainly see some areas south of Prince Albert and north of Saskatoon and over towards east central Saskatchewan. Those are a bit more intense, but the good news is this system continues to make its way towards parts of Ontario, and it's starting to lose its punch as it moves that way. And so we'll have more on what we can expect for the next couple of days and into the weekend later on.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving, also known as MAD Canada, kicked off its 6th annual crashed car campaign in Saskatoon. This wrecked vehicle will be displayed at 5 different locations throughout the city to serve as an important reminder to motorists about the impacts of impaired driving.
A crash car means
there's an injury involved or a death. And with that, take responsibility to say, I'm not going to drink and drive. And I want to ensure that my family knows the same thing. Or if I'm going out with somebody, a group of people, I want to make sure that the people that are there who are drinking and driving don't get behind that wheel.
The campaign runs between June and September, where the University of Saskatchewan campus will serve as the final location for the vehicle. Water levels on the South Saskatchewan River are expected to rise. The Water Security Agency says it's releasing more water from Lake Diefenbaker after heavy rain and increased runoff in Alberta. The South Saskatchewan River is expected to rise about 60 centimeters through Saskatoon, with peak flows expected tomorrow. And with stronger currents, the WSA is urging people to use caution around the river. As Saskatoon cracks down on disorder affecting its transit system, we're learning more about the impact of fare evasion. In the last 3 years, people hopping on the bus without paying has more than tripled. There were more than 131,000 incidents last year compared to less than 42,000 in 2023. The city estimates lost revenue to fare evasion was almost $400,000 last year, up from $24,500 in 2021. A vast majority of fare dodging is on 10 bus routes. Route 2 from downtown to the Confederation Mall led the way with 21% in 2025, the most of any route. And the city says these figures likely represent a fraction of what's happening daily, with drivers having to click a button every time they notice someone not paying.
So this is at the lower end of the threshold. We know that for sure. We anticipated that there are some unrecorded ones that are not in this data.
A new bylaw that could come into effect in September would require people to pay to get on the bus. Those who don't could risk a $50 fine, being kicked off the bus, or being banned. A group of Saskatoon students at Wilson North Park School are creating a mural that will leave a lasting legacy. The project gave students in the Creative Action program a chance to end the year outside, painting a large-scale mural under the Circle Drive Bridge at the end of the pedway. The idea came from artist Josh Jacobson, who received a grant to bring the project to life. The mural features cultural imagery and Michif language. Students say the project has given them a sense of pride and a way to share their work with family, friends, and the community.
It's a very good feeling. It's really cool, especially because I know a lot of the community, and it's very cool to have people come up and ask about it and comment on it, how amazing it looks. Yeah.
Students worked closely with an elder to ensure cultural accuracy. An official unveiling ceremony is planned for June 22nd. A groundbreaking ceremony was held on Montreal Lake Cree Nation for a new RCMP detachment. Community leaders gathered at the location on Highway 969 to mark the start of construction on the new RCMP detachment. These are renderings of what the completed building will look like. An outline of the project from the federal government suggests it will occupy 761 square meters and is expected to be ready for occupancy in early 2028. A reminder, the 2026 FIFA World Cup gets underway tomorrow right here on CTV and TSN. Mexico, one of the 3 hosts, will play South Africa at the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. The game goes at 1 o'clock Saskatchewan time. When we come back, an early 166th birthday party and a codebreaker from the Second World War sharing her secret to a long life. An Ottawa woman celebrated her birthday early as she prepares to turn 106 years old. She served as a codebreaker during the Second World War and is now a grandmother of 5. Katie Griffin has more.
Happy birthday, dear Wynne.
Wynne Beecroft has a lot to celebrate.
I was born July the 2nd, 1920.
To mark turning 106 next month, afternoon tea at the Fairmont Chateau Laurier.
It's rather puzzling. But when I come to think about it, I suppose 106 is a lot of days.
Beecroft was born in England.
My mother, when I was young, told me I would never be anything but a servant. So I said, to heck with you.
Beecroft served with the Royal Air Force during the Second World War. She was one of the Enigma girls, helping to break the German code.
We tuned the dials and we tried to hear whatever Morse code was coming over from the enemy, as it were. If we got a full message on a full page, we used to call the supervisor. The supervisor would say, oh, hurry, hurry, and off he'd go to send it off to headquarters.
She came to Canada in 1955 with her husband Rex and 3 children. The grandmother of 5, the backbone of her family.
She's had so many obstacles in her way in life. She's overcome them all. She's always been very, very loving and supportive.
This milestone celebration thanks to Wynn's friends.
As we go through life, it's very rare to find good friends that you have for years and years and years. And every year they become a little bit more precious.
The hotel pulling out all the stops.
When I got that email, I was like, immediately, this is so exciting, and how cool was it that they would choose us to celebrate with.
As for the secret to living such a long life, Beecroft says luck and eggs.
When I was a young girl, my mother put me on eggs. She said they were very good for me. So I've had 2 eggs every day since. And this is what I say when people say, what keeps you so young? I said, 2 eggs a day.
Katie Griffin, CTV News.
Still ahead on CTV News, Jeff looks at current and future weather conditions, plus developing better aprons to protect from radiation during X-rays. All right, Jeff, down came the rain and washed that spider out. Is that spider going to be down for long?
You know what? I think it'll have a chance to get up that downspout. Probably, I'm not going to say tomorrow for sure because we might have some lingering showers depending on where we are. But ultimately, that spider's going to be able to get back up that downspout as we make our way into the weekend because things are really starting to calm down. We're going to be seeing a lot more in the way of warm temperatures. But that you can see sort of like just the way this system is moving. So the low is still concentrated in parts of Manitoba, and that system is still having an impact on the counterclockwise circulation, still impacting many parts of Saskatchewan. So still active weather right now. We haven't heard anything in terms of nastiness, meaning to say tornadic activity or incredibly strong winds or hail, but right now sort of some areas of intense rain. And then the ugliest part of the storm is moving into Ontario, but still it's a pretty wide wingspan on this storm, and it is slowly, ever so slowly, losing some of its impact. But you can certainly see the bullseye of that low moving up through Manitoba into that northwestern Ontario area up towards Hudson Bay. And in behind it, things are starting to calm down more in the way of isolated showers for Saskatchewan as we head into tomorrow. Tonight, though, still some showers and rain expected in Spiritwood, 9 degrees, possibility of some showers in the Battlefords. Candle Lake, Birch Hills, and Rostern all anticipating lingering showers, but tapering off in the overnight. And so as you can see, 11 degrees for Nipawin and Melfort. So basically 10 degrees overnight for the region. And then as we make our way into tomorrow, not as much in the way of active weather. Chance of some showers in Birch Hills and Melfort. Otherwise, we are looking at cloudy skies. As for temperatures, 13 for Spiritwood, 14 for the Battlefords, 14 as well in Candle Lake and Birch Hills. Rostern, 14 degrees, 15 in Nipawin, and 14 in Melfort. So yes, these temperatures are substantially lower than seasonal. Seasonal should basically be around 21, 22 degrees at this time of year. But certainly we are below that. Now, Prince Albert in detail for the overnight, dropping down to 11 degrees, 30% chance of showers, risk of a thunderstorm, winds out of the northwest at 20. Then we roll into tomorrow and the winds do pick up. We've got ourselves a 40% chance of showers, 14 degrees. But then as we make our way, particularly into the afternoon, the winds start to pick up, northwesterly winds 40, gusting 60. So it is going to be a windy Thursday. And as we make our way into the long-range forecast, 14 degrees on Friday, cloudy skies. But then we are back to seasonal temperatures. Look at that. For the weekend, basically 23 degrees. So 22 specifically on Saturday, Sunday 24. Staying mainly cloudy to start the work week, 24 degrees, 22 on Tuesday. And temperatures cool off a little bit on Wednesday. Not a surprise because we do anticipate cloudy skies and about a 30% chance of showers. So all in all, a pretty pleasant weekend in particular and start to the work week after we get through these next couple of days.
Sure you give yourself a little extra time to mow the grass, because with all that extra moisture, the grass is probably about, 2 feet longer than normal?
At least 2 feet.
There you go.
At least.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Jeff. Well, last season, the Riders' defense had 5 All-CFL players and likely could have had more. But with the departures of 5 key pieces over the offseason, the D-Corps has undergone some significant changes.
Here's pressure. How about Baldonado is into the act. And coming in to help out is C.J. Rivas.
C.J. Rivas gone, A.J. Allen gone, Shane Ray gone, and Micah Johnson retired. There are some large gaps at key areas of the defense, one of which led the league last season in points against rush yards and was top 3 in sacks, turnovers, and yards allowed per game. The Riders believe, however, those holes are filled with some signings and younger guys stepping up.
I knew I had to step in, figure stuff out. I knew I had to put on some weight, get better at what I need to do, and fix those mistakes from last year.
I thought we filled some gaps that we lost from the defensive side, and it's really to be seen once we go out there and prove that we have to execute those things.
Saskatchewan's defense will have an early season test in one of the league's most high-powered offenses Saturday in the BC Lions.
You may have never seen this incredible leaping one-handed catch by Rough Rider receiver Don Narcisse from 1994 because it happened in a game that was never televised. Long before live streaming or a world with dozens of 24-hour sports channels, a local news station camera got footage of the Riders facing the Calgary Stampeders in 1994 at Taylor Field. The season opener saw the Riders go down 21-0 by halftime, but they rallied furiously in the second half, cutting the deficit to 12. And with about 2.5 minutes remaining, the Riders forced a fumble. Rookie Rich Glover would recover it, then lateral it to another rookie, Dale Joseph, who would return it for a touchdown. The Rider D would give the offense one more shot, and Tom Burgess would find Don Narcisse for a game-winning touchdown with no time left on the clock, sending fans into a frenzy and making many wish they were there. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
Researchers at the University of Waterloo are hoping to lighten the load for healthcare workers. They're developing an alternative to heavy lead aprons technicians and patients wear during x-rays. As Heather Senerin tells us, a lightweight apron could save technicians from chronic pain.
If you've ever had an x-ray, you've probably felt it. Those protective lead aprons that really weigh you down, but you usually only wear it for mere moments. Now imagine wearing one all day. It's a painful reality for some x-ray technicians.
Many of them are forced to retire early because of the weight and the weight of the lead apron they wear and the pain it causes, mainly back pain.
That's why this chemical engineering professor at the University of Waterloo and a PhD student wanted to come up with a solution, a lightweight alternative.
It looks like a flexible apron compared to a metal lead stiff apron. It's very lightweight. It's 1/10 of the weight of a lead apron. The particle geometry.
This is a sample of the material the team developed. But it took a lot of trial and error and experimenting with different lead alternatives before they landed on a special metal called tungsten.
This yellow thing is the nanoparticles, the tungsten nanoparticles.
It goes through a lot of phases before it can be turned into a material that will eventually be an apron.
The tungsten oxide, we are synthesizing using co-precipitation technique.
Including being washed and dried in an oven.
And it's incorporated into a silicon-based polymer or plastic. and it can be shaped into the apron we're looking for.
Now that they have the science of it all figured out, the next step would be to scale up and develop a prototype so it can be used commercially. But the team says it might take some time.
The next question would be the cost, right? It has to have a reasonable cost for it to be adopted by hospitals as well as clinics. So we would not know that until we reach a stage where we start manufacturing it. So those factors will determine how quickly we can get to the market.
They're already looking into the future and say this material can be used for other shielding applications like protection from gamma radiation.
Those are another kind of radiations with even more energy than X-rays. So usually you can have gamma rays in nuclear facilities, for example.
Providing radiation protection without the heavy burden. Heather Senerin, CTV News, Waterloo.
Well, Jeff, it's a good thing those guys over at the university are dealing with that yellow liquid and turning it into fabrics, because that was beyond me. I'm glad I learned something.
It's very impressive, yeah.
Well, if you're from Tisdale, you probably know this, Jeff, but anyone else probably doesn't. Have you ever wondered why bees can get into so many places?
I have not.
Well, Jeff, that's because bumblebees are actually pretty smart. A new study found they can solve complex problems like chimpanzees and elephants. In one test, bees actually figured out how to move a ball out of the way in order to access a sweet treat. The study is proposing that insects can solve problems using cognitive ability, usually associated with bigger-brained animals like, I'm guessing, probably like us, but definitely not anywhere compared to those guys at the University of Waterloo.
True enough, but let me tell you, it's the insects are coming for us.
That's right, they are.
The Hellstrom Chronicles. It's still a good book.
There you go. Well, it's probably the time if you get into the shed this weekend, you're probably going to find out if bees made it into your area.
Exactly. And bees, you know, hey, I think generally speaking, we love bees. It's just we hate wasps.
Yeah,
so
that's what we were just talking about earlier today. I think I'd take a bee over a wasp.
Well, absolutely. Wasps are after you. There's no question about it. But, you know, we can certainly say that, yes, they are doing the right thing and pollinating stuff. Woo!
There you go. And wasps, repeat offenders.
There you go.